to discuss the student login for MobiMax. These are the key features that I'm going to discuss is how to log in. So what students actually see on their end of MobiMax, as well as the welcome screen, their progress, what badges are, the daily effort or goal, announcements or tasks that the teacher can post up for them to see, any homework assignments or things like that. And then also the messaging feature where they can send messages to their teacher. Okay, so before I actually get into the site of MobiMax, I want to show you like an introductory video.
For students to get signed into Mobi, there's a handy guide right in your teacher account. From the teacher dashboard, click on the roster button, and you can see that students have 4 options to sign into their account. The first option has students select their school. In this option, the student will first go to mobimax.com and then click on the sign-in button. The student will then type the name of their school in this box and click the Find button. Then, we'll find their school and click on it. And the student will be directed to their school's unique sign-in page where they can enter their username and password. Option 2 for students to sign in asks for the school code. The school code is handy because when students use the school code, they don't need to spell out the name of their school. To find your school code, click on the roster button from your teacher dashboard, and your unique school code can be found here. From mobimax.com, the student can enter that school code and will be directed to that same unique sign-in page. The easiest option is option 3, a unique URL for your school. It's a great idea to go ahead and bookmark this page. This way, students can quickly access their sign-in page, then sign in easily using their username and password that were created when they were registered. If your students need some help to find their username and password, visit your teacher dashboard and then the roster button, and you can see all your students' usernames and password.
What I'm going to do now, I'm not going to go too deep into detail on what the students can see. I'm going to type in the student's name and then password 123. Okay, and then once they log in, it'll show them what their daily challenge is. So in order to receive a badge, they must complete the challenge. And for this particular student, it's to solve 11 problems in reading stories in order to earn a badge. Okay, so we're gonna click on what looks like the progress monitor here, and then what they can see. So for this particular student, or for all the students, you can see the progress, the time summary, how much time that they're spending on MobiMax, the badges that they've earned through the program, games. So in order to even get to the games, they have to complete amount of time through the program. Their goals, any contest that the teacher has, and that's another feature that's also available. Their certificate. So Mr. Solomon mentioned something about them designing their own certificate, so they could design it here once they earn different points and goals and things like that. Announcements that the teacher has is available under their screen. So any homework assignments would come under this portion right here. The messenger feature is where I said that they could contact the teacher, all their teachers there, and they can send them a message. So let's just click maybe on one of them and see, like, for example, let's look at the student's progress. Okay, so the good thing about MobiMax that I really like is that it's not just one subject area. They can use it throughout, and it breaks it down to different skills. So there's like reading, there's vocabulary, language, also writing is involved, and science and social studies. So here they can see the progress that they've made throughout all of those subject areas. So if we click just, for example, the first one here, we can see what he's done. He's answered 3 problems in learning numbers 1 to 5. And that was on Monday, March 12th. So like I said, we're not going to go too deep into detail. We're just covering the overview of the student's site. Do you want to jump in and say
Can you
anything?
click on math,
Yeah.
for example? Up here. And let's click, okay, scroll down all the way. And complete dashboard. So for this student, it will give you the summary of what they're doing. When they started taking the diagnostic test, the level was 0.4. And after a few months, they went up to 0.9. So basically what happened, they're given tests from K all the way to 8th grade. So if they're doing well in K, they move to the first grade and try the skill in that first grade. If they are having a struggle in second grade, that's when they're placed. That's going to be the level. And so if you scroll down here, these are the lessons that they have completed. And right here, these are the one in progress. So it's going to tell you, and most of these activities are supported with videos. So there is no way that a student will need you. If they have to use the headphones and pay attention to those videos.
Okay, so let's just look at one quick activity that we can see. Since I'm an ELA teacher, we're going to look at vocabulary. Okay. And the good thing about MobiMax is not very bland and boring. It's like very interactive, it's engaging, so students can have fun with it while they're learning. So a big part of vocabulary is knowing the meaning of words. So students will be able to listen to the word.
Mark. A sign or symbol used to identify something. The teacher put a red mark next to each spelling mistake. The girl drew a black mark over the names of books she read. A red mark means it is done.
So then they'll write the word. Write it correctly, hopefully. And then it tells them whether they're correct or not, and then it moves on to the next vocabulary word. So they can listen, understand the meaning of it, they'll see the picture, and then go gradually continue on that way.
Now the question that might arise is this extra duty on me as a teacher? No. And where does it come in your lesson plan? in your lesson plan, you mentioned that throughout the week, the students are going to be working on MobiMax individualized activities. So when somebody walks into the class, there will be 5 students in your classroom doing MobiMax. What you have to do is to go around, supervise and make sure that they are not on the wrong website. But otherwise, if they are on the task, they will not be bored. It is very interactive. And if they don't want to do the lesson for today, they can go to the games. But the games are academically oriented. So they might think that they're playing games, but actually they're working on escape. Yeah.
Okay, let's go back to the dashboard. So here is where they can see all of the different subject areas that are open to them. So they'll move on to other areas. The really good part about that is that here for ELA teachers, it has the reading level assessment, so it gives them a diagnostic test. And then on the teacher's end of it, you can actually see where they're scoring, where they need assistance, their strengths, their weaknesses, and things of that nature. So I'm just going to show you the quick view of the content that's covered on the diagnostic. It's adaptive to the student's level, so if they answer incorrectly, of course, it's going to go a little bit lower, or if they answer correctly, it's going to go a little bit higher onto their level. And this one does not offer the accommodation of where they listen to it, because they have to read it on their own and understand. So it's more of like reading comprehension. So once they have read through the text, they'll go and they'll answer the question. And these are Common Core based standards.
And if they're doing horrible on these long passages, the next passage is going to be a lot shorter. So that's how it is adapted to the learner's needs.
Y'all have any questions at this point before we?
So, in your dashboard, do they have everything available to them to click on? You just have to tell them only click on these particular ones, or is there some setting where?
Let's go back to the dashboard. So the thing is, it's not restrictive. Like if they come to me, it doesn't block off math.
Mm-hmm.
You'll have to give them the direction. Don't, like for my students, they'll look at the colors. They'll see the first 3 are math related.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll tell them, don't do that. Just do the ones that are in blue or in red.
Okay.
So you really have to, on that part of it, you have to give them direction and tell them which ones you actually want them to do and focus on.
What you're doing in the class that week and send it and push it out to the students. So the student will go in under the test and take that assessment that you sent to them. So this is, and you have control over that, the test portion. You pick the test questions and send it out to the students.
Do you have any other questions at this point? No?
Thank you so much.